GM player characters. Should we? I've heard GM say, I never get to play in games. I've got this character I really, really, really love. Like, I made him because I was going to play in a game and it just never took off. And so I really want to use it, because I put all that time and thought into his backstory. Now, here are just some of my thoughts on GM player characters. If your intent is to make a character for you to play as a GM in a game, my answer is no. You are already controlling every NPC. Now, if you want to insert an NPC, maybe this character you made is going to be an NPC, that is 100% fine. Okay. Now, there's ways you can handle it. I will be looking at my phone for some of my notes because that's what I do now. I use a notepad on here, and it helps me keep my thoughts in order. So, is it something you should use? If it's your actual player character, the answer is no. But an NPC, yes. Have your NPCs travel with the players. That's fine. How I handle that is I'll usually write the stats on paper, and then I'll role play it. I'll role play the character. But when it comes to combats and things like that, I will give the stats to one of the players to control. That way I'm not controlling it in battle, and they can still control the outcome. And I'll do that with most NPCs, a single NPC, if they're traveling. Now, there are times when player characters will actually seek out an NPC to travel with them. If they don't have a rogue, for example, and they know they're going to need some kind of skills that a rogue would normally have, they might actually go and try to hire a rogue for pick locks or trap finding and things like that. We used to do that in our 2nd edition game a little bit. It was not a very useful character in combat. In fact, it was a rogue. Was not useful in combat and would do maybe 1 attack in 2 or 3 rounds. And it was always a backstab, but that was about it. So there's different ways you could use them, though. It can be an NPC paying the party to travel somewhere. It can be an NPC the players ask to tag along with them and offer to pay and split treasure and things like that. But you don't want it to overshadow the group. And that's ultimately the problem, what I see when someone does use a GM player character. I've seen GMs use a character that was so badass. 1, it was a higher level character. 2, they could do everything. And that's not fun when an NPC that's always with your party is outshining the whole group. It's not fun. It's okay for a fraction of a session or maybe a session here and there, but when it's always there, it's a problem. So GM player characters, no. Turning your idea of a GM player character into an NPC that's not going to steal the spotlight is 100% fine. Why shouldn't you use this? When you have a GM player character, if they aren't as powerful as the rest of the group and you're not, I guess you can do it. But if they're outshining the players in social interactions and combat, in finding things, I think it's garbage. And that's my honest opinion on it. If you want a character with the party at all times so that you can role play at all times with the players, that is fine. But don't use it to railroad your players. Don't use it so you can get some spotlight, because honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. You know everything anyway. So when you're playing a character, you're removing that. You are basically telling the players, hey, this is what I prepped. Let's go there. Or, man, my character is so smart because they know everything. You can't do it that way. So no, I that's why you shouldn't use them. And it will, if you don't have them, it will remove the thought in your head of railroading the players down a certain way. Can a GM player character be helpful? I think so. If you have a party that fights and can't get on the same page with what they want to do in a game, I think an NPC can help a ton. whether it's a mentor type character, whether it's a quest giver, and that's it. But at the same time, I think more times than not, a GM player character will hurt your party. So maybe there's some better ways to handle it. You know, I haven't seen it used well by a lot of people. I'd like to think the way I have used it has been helpful in the couple times I have. Usually if I have for me, I don't even consider them GMPCs because I still don't even role play them that much. Very rarely. It's once every couple sessions where I'll even let them get into when the players are discussing things amongst themselves. Maybe once every few sessions, if at all, I'll have the NPC travel with them say something. They'll interact with the NPC here and there. In fact, last night in our game, I had the NPC explain to them the history of the city that they were going to, that's for the dwarves. And so in that way, I thought it was excellent. And it gave the characters backstory of about 80 years of what happened in this area and the importance and significance of the dwarven kingdom. So I thought it was good. I think the players did too. And again, you know, don't be afraid to try things. You know, don't be afraid to try different methods, how to do things, whether it's using NPCs or player characters, how to deliver your message to your players. So that's going to be another video that I'm going to do later about, you know, trying different things out to help your players and to immerse them. But this is about it that I have on this topic right now. I'd love to hear your thoughts below, whether you think GM player characters are fine. How have you used them? You know, do you think what I'm saying is correct? I mean, do you agree or disagree? You know, these are things that I think can be very important. And we as game masters can certainly learn from each other. You know, whether it's how and what's the good amount of time or amount of feedback players can get from NPCs. How much do you give them? You know, because you don't want to tell them everything. Sometimes you want to get them up to a certain point and let them figure the rest out, but or ask, maybe leave it up to the players to ask the right questions to force the role play. But that's it. I'm going to wrap this up here. I hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all that good stuff. I appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words you guys have given me lately. You know, the compliments on the subject matter of my videos and things like that. I really appreciate it. So thank you, and I will talk to you guys again later.